In this lesson, we're going to learn how to add items to an array list. Let's start off by first creating the array list. We'll work with another integer array list again. We're going to call it numbers, and we call the constructor as such. Before we actually add some items into the array list, I want to demonstrate another method that we'll need to use quite a bit with array lists, and that's the size method. The size method will return the number of items in an array list at any given time. So if we want to display the number of items in this array list, we can simply call the method on the array list name, like so. So size will return the number of elements that we've stored in the array list numbers, which at this time is 0, so that's what we should get as the result. So let's save the program, let's compile it. Now let's run it. And it says the number of items is 0 because we haven't added any to the array list yet. Now let's go ahead and do that. The way we add elements to an array list is with the method add. If we want to add the element 0 to our array list of numbers, we will write numbers.add sub 0, or put the 0 in parentheses. I like to use sub as a subscript, for example. But actually that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is sending a message that the element we want to add to numbers is 0. So think of it more in terms of that. Now we can look at the size again and see that it's changed. So let's just copy and paste the line above back in below. Let's save the file. Let's compile it again and then run it. And now it shows that the number of items is 1. So if we want to continue adding a few more numbers into our array list, we could write a for loop, start at 1, we'll go through 10, so we'll say I less than 11, increment I by 1, and then we'll just add the current value of I as the element to the array list, and then when we're finished with the loop, we can check to see how many items we've added. So let's save the file, compile, now run it. So now you see that we have 11 items. So we have the numbers 0 through 10 in the array list. In the next lesson, when we look at accessing array list elements, I'll demonstrate how to display all the elements in the array list. But in this lesson, we're restricting ourselves to just adding. So the way we add is with the add method, and you simply provide the element you want to add to the array list as the argument to that method, and it will place it in the next available spot in the array list. So that wraps up this lesson, and we'll move to the next lesson where we look at how to access array list elements.